Samantha Sam Hayes had never imagined she would become involved in a real detective story. At 32, she was the kind of woman who liked her coffee black, her sneakers comfortable, and her life predictably quiet. She worked as a junior archivist at the Metropolitan Library, a massive glass and steel building that loomed over the east side like a benevolent yet judgmental giant. Her days were spent cataloging old newspapers and helping students track down obscure references, hardly the stuff of noir fiction. Yet, on a rainy Tuesday night, all of that changed. It began innocuously enough. Sam was walking home from the library, her trench coat buttoned tightly against the drizzle, umbrella flipping rebelliously in the wind. She always took the same route, up 7th Avenue, past Tony's 24/7 diner, around the neon-lit art studio, and through the back alley that led to her apartment. That alley, she knew, had a reputation for being sketchy, but she had yet to encounter more than a stray cat or two. A flash of movement caught her eye. There, under the flickering fire escape light, a man dropped a small leather-bound notebook. It tumbled across the wet pavement toward her feet. Sam bent to pick it up, her curiosity outweighing her caution. The notebook was peculiar, bound in cracked mahogany leather, its edges worn, with no name on the cover. Inside, however, were pages of writing detailed notes about the city, observations on people, coded symbols she didn't understand, and what seemed to be addresses scribbled in a careful hand. Sam flipped a page, then another, until a sharp voice behind her made her jump. "Hey, that's mine." A man in a soaked trench coat, hat pressed low over his eyes, jogged toward her. He looked surprisingly desperate. I found it on the street," Sam said, holding it out. "I thank you," he said, breathless. "But you can't read it." "Really? It's important." Sam hesitated. She had 3 options: hand it over, run, or ask questions. Naturally, she asked questions. "What is it?" The man glanced around nervously. "Let's just say it involves a mystery you don't want to be near." Sam, already intrigued, felt a spark of defiance. "You just walked into it, and now I'm going to solve it, whether you like it or not." He blinked. Then, sighing, he muttered something she barely caught. "I guess I don't have a choice." Thus began her accidental life as a detective. The notebook contained clues about a missing manuscript supposedly written by a reclusive author whose novels were rumored to contain secrets that could shake the publishing world. The author, Eleanor Bishop, had vanished without a trace months ago. Rumors suggested blackmail, stolen ideas, and a secret code hidden in her unpublished work. Sam, with 0 training in detective work, immediately became fascinated. She spent nights poring over the notebook, cross-referencing addresses, and tracing phone numbers. Her first real break came when she noticed a pattern. Every address corresponded to a small business, all seemingly unrelated: flower shops, laundromats, pawn stores, but each had a tiny mark, a small sticker of a star in the corner of the window. What kind of person uses stars as a secret code? Sam muttered aloud, balancing a mug of cold coffee in one hand and a magnifying glass in the other. Her apartment phone rang. It was the man in the trench coat. "Don't go to 42 Monroe Street," he said urgently. "It's dangerous." Sam paused. Her first instinct was caution, but curiosity was stronger. She scribbled the address in her notebook and tucked it into her coat pocket. The next morning, armed with her smartphone, a backpack, and a bag of snacks for sustenance, Sam ventured into the part of the city she rarely visited. Monroe Street was a narrow, graffiti-stained alley, lined with shuttered shops and flickering neon. She felt a thrill equal parts fear and excitement. Inside number 42, she found a small antique shop. The bell jingled as she entered. Shelves of dusty trinkets, cracked porcelain dolls, and yellowed postcards filled the room. A man with a handlebar mustache looked up. "Yes," he said, suspicious. "I'm looking for something," Sam said vaguely. "A manuscript, perhaps." The man raised an eyebrow. "You're either very brave or very foolish. That notebook, don't follow it blindly." Before she could respond, a shadow moved near the back. Sam turned, heart racing. A figure in a dark hoodie grabbed a book from a shelf and dashed toward the door. Without thinking, she chased, sneakers slapping against the wet pavement. The chase led her across 3 blocks, past a hot dog cart, and finally into a narrow courtyard. The figure turned abruptly. Sam froze till she noticed the face. It was Eleanor Bishop herself, the author, and she looked exhausted but unharmed. Who are you?" Eleanor asked, eyes wide. "I'm Sam," she said. "I found your notebook. I think it's trying to lead me to you." Eleanor studied her for a long moment. Then, slowly, a smile formed. "You're not supposed to find me, but maybe it was meant to be." Eleanor explained everything over coffee at a nearby diner. Her disappearance had been intentional. She had uncovered evidence that someone in the publishing industry was stealing ideas from new authors, rewriting them, and claiming them as their own. The notebook was a trail she had left for someone trustworthy to discover someone who could help her expose the scheme. And that someone, apparently, was Sam. "You?" Sam asked, incredulous. Eleanor nodded. "You're persistent. You notice things. You don't give up." Sam, blushing, muttered, "I mostly just don't want to feel like a fool." "Good. Because now we're partners," Eleanor said. The investigation that followed was equal parts thrilling and ridiculous. Sam and Eleanor staked out offices, intercepted coded messages, and even disguised themselves at a literary gala. Sam wore a sparkly blue dress she had never imagined she'd own and attempted a fake French accent, which Eleanor described as ambitious but tragic. The trail led to the owner of a major publishing house, a man named Victor Calhoun, who had a charming smile and a terrifying reputation. He was clever, careful, and arrogant, perfectly convinced no ordinary person could outwit him. Sam and Eleanor devised a plan. They created a fake manuscript full of obviously ridiculous ideas, like a detective who solved crimes by communicating with pigeons, and let it leak to Calhoun's office. Predictably, he took the bait. Within days, the evidence of his theft was exposed, thanks to some clever sleuthing, a tiny camera hidden in a flower bouquet, and a lot of luck. Calhoun was arrested, the stolen manuscripts returned to their rightful authors, and Eleanor's unpublished work safely stored. Through it all, Sam discovered more about herself than she ever expected. She realized she was braver than she thought, cleverer than she had given herself credit for, and perhaps most importantly capable of forming deep friendships in the unlikeliest of circumstances. Eleanor insisted on showing Sam how to organize a proper archive of rare manuscripts. They spent hours together cataloging, laughing over their absurd disguises, and planning their next accidental detective adventure. The city, once a place of routine for Sam, now seemed alive with possibility. Neon lights shimmered like promises, alleyways hinted at secrets, and every rainstorm felt like a call to adventure. One evening, as they walked along the east side, Eleanor nudged Sam. "You know, this all started because of a notebook on the street." Sam smiled, thinking about the soaked pages, the mysterious codes, and the wild, unexpected ride that had begun so innocently. "Maybe some mysteries are meant to find us," she said. And as they walked into the glittering night, the city bustling around them, Sam realized she had found something even more valuable than solving a crime: a life full of curiosity, courage, and the rarest treasure of all, a friend who believed in her completely.